They got a new target in mind at the Pies, and he's a big man. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so I think if you look at Collingwood's list, there's one hole, and that hole is a key forward. Now, we know Dan McStay, he's coming off a knee injury. Mason Cox is 33, Brodie Myercheck's 31. Logan McDonald, I think, is a name they are circling. Out of contract at the Sydney Swans. We know he's from Western Australia, but he's from 3 hours south of Perth at Dunsborough. He grew up a Collingwood supporter. I think he would be a dream fit for Collingwood, and they're going to have a red-hot crack at him.
Now, they've done this several times. I mean, Tom Lynch they missed. Ever since, Travis Cloke was probably the last time they had a ready-made... Myercheck we talked about, he's been amazing. But to get a ready-made big centre forward, this is the go.
Well, he's been a missing link. Let's be honest. Craig McRae has said this year of the Collingwood list, they've played games this year without really even a key forward to pick from. Dane McStay coming back from his ACL, of course. Mason Cox has been out with a knee and the concussion issues. Hill's been playing tall. They've trialled McInnes. Ash Johnson hasn't been really able to establish himself. So a prime key forward, what is he, 194 centimetres? That, to me, is a missing link.
Now, a lot of people might be questioning, well, how do they get a deal done?
That's what I was about to ask. I mean, really, how?
They've traded away their future first pick in this year's draft for Lachie Schultz last year. The secret ingredient here is the fact that the AFL is about to enable clubs to trade 2 years of future draft picks. So if that gets ticked off for this year's off-season, which a lot of clubs think will happen, I reckon that gives them the artillery to get a trade done. Because they could go to the Swans with their full suite of 2025 and 2026 picks. So I think that's the key that could unlock
the issue is
a potential trade.
Win the premiership, their picks way out.
Yeah.
No, it's Collingwood's picks.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay, yeah.
So what is the pick number? What are you giving up for Logan McDonald?
It's clearly very premature. Look, he was taken at pick 4 in 2020.
Does pick 10, 12 do it? I think a late first-round pick, is that enough? Or
I think it's
to move him, yeah.
I think it's a pick in the first 10 to 15 and maybe a second rounder. That's a ballpark figure. The other interesting one is, I mean, he's pretty low on the Swans goal-kicking list. I mean, if he's worth $800,000, $900,000, is he worth that to Sydney or is he worth more to another club?
Well, let's have a look at the goal kick. It's been a spread load up there at
That's
Sydney.
Why they're on top of the ladder.
I'm surprised he's that low. What is he down there in 6th? 21 goals. They're Logan McDonald. So they like a nice balanced forward approach. At Collingwood, he would become the big banana. We know the Amati party has been going on at Sydney, but he would become the number one. You think along with Dan McStay, of course. So I think he'd be perfect. It'd be a long-term deal. 8-year deals are in vogue at the moment. So he would slot in there. He'd be great, but he would take advantage of the bulging salary cap at Sydney, and that's what Collingwood's potentially looking at. Look at the players at the Swans. You know, Blakey, Heaney, Mills, Warner. You know, could get what, 1.2, 1.3 million dollars. Goulden's just signed a massive deal, so maybe the cap is clearly tight at Sydney. This is where Collingwood moves in.
They've done an amazing job. I mean, to re-sign Hayward, Florent, and Goulden this year, it's been a super effort. They've got Warner out next year, McDonald this year. I mean, the question is, can they actually keep everyone? And if one was to slip out, would McDonald be their preference? Clearly, you'd probably rather keep Chad Warner. Yeah. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, Warner, clearly. Fremantle, too, are still in the market. I mean, they've got the emergence of Josh Tracy, who's had an incredible season so far. So whether Fremantle really need McDonald anymore, I'm not sure. But, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. The longer it goes, Sammy, you would think that the more chance Collingwood is.
There's a lot going on behind the scenes at Sydney, and the list management, what's the setup there now?
Yeah, it's flying under the radar a little bit. Kinnear Beatson, who's been the veteran list manager at Sydney for a long time, he's been a very popular figure in football, no longer the list boss, no longer holding the reins. So Chris Keane is the new man there, and he's very data-driven. So I think he's got a degree in statistics.
Is he a money baller?
I think he's a money baller.
He's got a money baller.
So there's
RMIT degree in statistics.
Yes, so there is a restructure there of Sydney's list management crew. I think we all love Kinnear Beatson, but a bit of a change. I don't think they've made that all that particularly public, but a bit of a switch up there. So it'd be interesting to see how that plays out and how Chris Keane, the money baller, juggles and balances the books.
Now, Sammy, over to Adelaide, the Crows are causing a few issues. Rival clubs are pointing the finger.
Now, this is interesting. So I spoke to a few clubs. One of them I'll name, that's GWS, because Jimmy Bartel, I think, has been vocal about this. There is a belief that managers are using Adelaide as a stalking horse course to drive up the prices of their players.
Right.
So Adelaide's missed out on a lot of players over the past 12 to 18 months. I think we can have a look at the list here. There's Errol Goulden on that list. There's Mason Redmond last year. Hugh McCluggage they missed out on.
So you reckon this is made up? You reckon they're not actually going after them?
No, they clearly went after them.
Yeah.
But Jimmy Bartell has said this publicly, and other clubs believe it as well, that managers are using Adelaide. They go to the Crows, get an offer from them, and then go back to the original club and just get a better. I mean, Sydney matched Adelaide's offer of 10 years for Errol Goulden.
Yep.
Sydney wasn't offering Errol Goulden 10 years without that from Adelaide first. So it's a very interesting take from Jimmy and privately a few other clubs as well.
Agents can get crafty this time of the year.
Oh, just a watch on this. So if the GWS Giants finish in the top 6, you would think they would obviously host a home final, but where that would be is a question. So
Why wouldn't it be at their home ground?
well, there is a precedent. I mean, when the Western Bulldogs, the Marvel Stadium tenant, play a home final, it's at the MCG. They hosted Adelaide there in 2015. When Geelong plays a home final, it's at the MCG. So they're home state finals. They're not home ground finals because we don't want to lock fans out.
So if it's a sellout,
Now,
like it was opening round,
As you pointed out off the top,
Yep.
Carlton, Collingwood, Essendon, all up the top of the ladder.
Yep.
If the Giants were to host one of those big drawing clubs, should it be at NG Stadium where you lock fans out, or should it be at the SCG where you can fit more in?
That is a good point.
I spoke to the AFL today. They
Yep.
said no decision yet. It's far too early.
They're not sure.
The Giants are very confident it would be at NG Stadium. They believe that the only other venue would be a core stadium, the old Homebush, if it was a derby against Sydney.
Yep.
But the precedent is there that to play at the SCG if it was against a powerhouse club. As you say, the Giants sold out opening round against Collingwood. Gold Coast has sold out Saturday night's game against Collingwood. Collingwood fans travel, Essendon fans would travel for a final, so would Carlton. So it's just a discussion. The Giants very confident they would get the home ground advantage, but should they?
it's very, very good point. The Cats locked out. Would it be hypocritical if the Cats can't hold a home final at KP, of course, but the Giants can? Right, it's our favourite segment of the week. It is time for your Media Street, Scotty, and you're on Real Estate Watch. What are you talking about
Now,
here?
we love tips in our game.
Yes.
And sightings of AFL footballers in real estates, watching auctions,
At auctions.
sniffing around. I have contacts in this industry. So I have been told Bellbrae. You don't know where that is? It's near Janjuk and Torquay, down
Yep.
on the surf coast. Very nice.
Yeah,
You get a
Cattery.
few acreage. You can
Yep.
hide away there behind the trees, ocean just there. Our man Bailey Smith has been sighted down there.
The Geelong area.
Not saying he's going to Geelong, but
I think you are.
So he's been sighted there.
Yep.
Also, my Melbourne spies tell me James Rowbottom, the
Sydney
superstar.
Best on
flavour-
ground on
Oh,
the weekend.
Yeah,
He's bought a house in Paran.
right.
Ding, ding, ding. No, he's contracted till 2028.
Okay.
He's a Melbourne boy, but he's
Just
got
an
real
investment.
estate here.
Right.
So if he's ever on the trade block, we can tell you he might live in Paran.
So you've been hiding at auctions, and Sammy, you've been stalking golfers at golf courses. What can you tell us? You've got Golf Watch happening.
Now, in 2026, Huntingdale Golf Course is going to be one of the most pristine courses in Melbourne.
Good.
It's undergoing a renovation at the moment. It will be ready at the end of 2025. On the waiting list to join to buy a membership there,
Yes.
Jake Bowie, Judd McPhee, Trent Rivers, Charlie Spargo,
These.
Disco Turner, Taj Woden, and one Harrison Petty.
I thought he was going to Adelaide.
Now, we all think he's going to Adelaide. We thought he was going there last year. We thought that might be in play again this year.
So he's staying at Melbourne.
Now,
He's playing at Huntingdale.
it costs about 12 to 14 grand to buy one of these memberships. I don't think you'd be spending
Not a summer membership,
14,
just for-
14 grand on a membership to Huntingdale if you're expecting to go to the Crows.
He's
So
staying then.
That was just an interesting
Okay.
tidbit from the Huntingdale Golf Course.
Very good. No trade plans for Harrison Petty. He's going to be playing some golf.